Hi everyone, this is Marisa from Toronto. We are winding down to the end of this contest and my husband has a plea. Could you please continue this for the rest of the year? He just loves everything that I'm making and he wants it to continue. So today I am going to make some Madeleine desserts. This is a Madeleine pan. It has tiny little shell-shaped indentations and when it's baked, it comes out with these striations that look just like a seashell. These are my daughter's favorite cookies, and they're not really a cookie. They're the size of a cookie with a beautiful, tender, cake-like center. So I'm going to make that for you today with a little bit of a surprise. So in my mixer, I'm going to add half a cup of Philadelphia cream cheese. I'm going to add a few raspberries, just a few, just to give it a beautiful pink color. These are washed and drained. And let me just clean my hands so I can continue. Eggs, egg yolks. This is orange juice. 1 whole orange grated and vanilla. And now I'm going to mix that up with the sugar, Philadelphia cream cheese, and those raspberries are going to break beautifully. In here I have ground almond meal, raw, and sugar. And this is my base for the cookie. Once that's all blended together, I'm going to add the baking powder and the flour. I used to sit my children up on the counter with me and I would hand them these measuring cups and I would ask them to find me a 1/2, which is a half a cup. So I was teaching them how to do measurements without them knowing it, and they were doing fractions, volume. And I taught them math without them knowing it. And they had lots of fun doing it because it took them quite a while to discover where those numbers were on these measuring cups. So my batter is coming together beautifully. And it's pink. And now I have a secret ingredient. If you come a little bit closer, this looks like rosemary, doesn't it? But it's not. It's lavender. One of my neighbors has lavender growing in their front, and it's a big bush. It is so beautiful and fragrant. Every time I go for a walk, I take a sprig of it and I walk with it and smell it and rub it in between my fingers, and it's just divine. And they're actually starting to sell lavender in the grocery stores, right in the herb section. So as you can see, I've got a beautiful pink blend. And you can see the pulp of the raspberries, the little points of the lavender in it. And now I'm going to take the 2 egg whites that I separated from the eggs, which I brought to a stiff peak. And this is a stiff peak. When it holds its firmness and it's not going anywhere, that's a stiff peak. And now I'm going to show you how to fold. A lot of people don't know what folding means. And I take my mixture, I put it in the center, and I fold it over. And I fold it over. And I can continue to go around the bowl, folding that mixture over. So I just put in a little to lighten the batter, and now I'm going to fold in the rest. And I remember when I was a little girl, just starting the age of school, and my mother, who couldn't speak or read English, discovered cake mixes, and she was just in heaven. Imagine something that she didn't have to mix together, and it was practically foolproof. So I would read it to her, but I didn't know what blend and fold and mix and stir meant. But she had enough knowledge of baking that she could do it while I told her what it was and in what order the ingredients had to go in. So really, we both were discovering baking at the same time. So this is all blended beautifully. and it's just light in the batter. If you want to come and take a closer look, you'll see that the egg whites are almost all disappeared. And now I have sprayed the Madeleine pans. They must be sprayed with non-stick spray so that we can remove the cookie easily without it sticking to the pan. So now I'm going to take big dollops of teaspoons and I'm going to place it in the center. I don't have to move it. It has lots of baking powder that is going to spread this cookie and it's going to rise beautifully. So I'm going to continue placing this in the pan. And if you don't have the Madeleine forms, you could easily put this into your tiny muffin tins, or you can fill half of a muffin regular size tin. This is just such a beautiful, delicate cookie / cake morsel. And the lavender is going to make it so fragrant, and the pink in it is just so pretty. These are done. As you can see, they're not colored on top, and I'm just using 2 toothpicks, if you can see me, just to loosen the mixture up. And the butter inside this little dough will loosen up eventually. But because of the little ridges, I have to gently go around each little cookie, lifting it out of its pan, even though it was sprayed. So you can see it's not hard. It doesn't matter if you damage one because we're going to sprinkle them with icing sugar. Look how fantastic these look. I've sprinkled them with icing sugar. You can see little holes from the delicate mixture of the sponge cake. And I even had some extra batter to make tiny little muffin size desserts. And we have an empty plate here. I'm going to have to fill this up. I've chopped up another half tablespoon of the lavender, and this is optional. If you can't find it, you don't have to put it in. I'm going to add a few raspberries that are washed and cleaned to get that pink look again. And they're so ripe, I'm squishing them with my fingers. I'm going to add 1/4 container of Cool Whip Ready Whip topping that's been in the fridge, not the freezer, otherwise you won't be able to scoop it out and blend it easily. I'm going to add a little bit of our Canadian framboise. This is a delicious raspberry dessert wine, and it's going to impart a wonderful raspberry flavor. And I'm going to add about a cup of Philadelphia cream cheese. I'm going to blend these together, and it's going to come together really quickly, and my guests will have a dip to dip the Madeleines in. Not that they need it because those Madeleines are delicious, but this is going to add an extra whip mousse to the mixture. I'm just going to taste this one to see if I need to add some sugar. And I do need to add a little bit of icing sugar. I will be back soon. I'm adding about 2 tablespoons worth of icing sugar to this mixture. And this is just a glorious natural pink color. Look at this. You can see the tiny little specks of raspberry inside. I'm just going to use a little bit of paper towel to clean up that little edge. And I'm going to take one of the sprigs of my lavender just to decorate that beautiful mousse that I created. So it's time to taste. The almond in this imparts no flavor because I didn't roast them, and I don't want to roast them. Can you see that light pink color with the specks of raspberry? What I wanted was to taste the almond meal, and no one can tell that there's almond in there except you. They're so delicious. There's a crunch in your mouth and the delicate flavor of lavender. I hope you like these, ladies. See you soon.